patience is something that should be a part of your day every day. It's a reminder that the place that you're at right now is right where you're supposed to be. I want to say that again. The spot you're at right now is the perfect spot for you today. Why? Because it's the starting point. It's a kickoff point. It's a new beginning. You can create a new beginning at any point in time in your life, at any point in time in your career, at any point in time with your family. It just creates a level of newness, but it requires a bit of patience. Because anytime you try something new, you're not usually great at it. What if I told you there's a recipe for success? What if I told you there's a couple of things that you can do that are going to lead to a life of success and fulfillment? Here's the formula. There is a formula, and the formula is unique ability plus patience plus work. The work ethic equals results, equals success. The thing is, a lot of people come out of school. They come out of high school, college, whatever it may be, and they immediately want to drive the same SUV that their parents are driving today. They immediately want to live in the same neighborhood that their parents or their best friends' families might be living in today. And their viewpoint of where they see themselves now is what took the families 20, 30 years to get to. And that disconnect is a disconnect in patience. It's a disconnect in time and work ethic. And it's very, very normal for us to feel this way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not bad to dream and it's not bad to want, but it's just challenging if you don't understand there's a recipe that exists. So what happens if you're not applying the recipe? If you're not applying the recipe, then you often will end up unfulfilled or doing something that you don't love. Maybe you're just going through the motions in life and you're showing up from 9 to 5 every day and it is what it is. But if you actually take the recipe of unique ability, which is what do you do special? What makes you special? What makes you unique? What are you great at? Patience, giving the world time to develop in front of you, and work ethic. Hard work cannot be replaced. You cannot not work hard and expect great results. Hard work helps get where you want to go, but it does require a couple of other things. You can hard work at the same thing every day, but it doesn't always equal what you want. And if you do those things, you'll find all the fulfillment and success that you're looking for. Let's take a deep dive in each of the areas, okay? Unique ability. I love unique ability. I love the word unique ability. I hear it a lot from Strategic Coach and Dan Sullivan and all the people that I read and follow all the time. And so this is not my original idea. Like most great ideas, this is me talking about something that I've learned and applied in my personal life. But unique ability is what makes you great. What makes you special? What do you do better than other people? This is a really big topic because a lot of people will watch this video and say, how am I supposed to know? I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm great at. The first thing I'm going to tell you is this. If people around you are not telling you that you're great at something, you're not around great people. So I want you to think about this. If you're a great singer and you sing in front of your friends, every one of your friends, family, everybody knows you're a great singer. They tell you you're a great singer because you know you're great at it. Stands out. Not a lot of people are great at that. But the ones that are, people envy it. They love it. It's a talent that people are really, really in love with. If you're a great athlete, everybody tells you, man, you're so fast. You're the fastest guy on the track team. You're the best girls soccer player in college right now. Like you know that you're great at something because everybody around you tells you you're great. Who are those people around you telling you're great? Coaches, family members, people that love you. If you haven't found what you're great at, sometimes you're not surrounded by the right people who can actually tell you or give you indications or help you. Maybe it's a career. Help you find what you're really, really great at. I have conversations all the time. We just finished annual reviews for all of our employees, and we talked specifically about the year, about what they're great at. I spend very little time in a review talking about something that people made mistakes on. We gloss over them, we glance them, we discuss them very briefly if there's something that needs to be addressed, but most of a review revolves around how me, the leader, can find more of the greatness that's inside of that person and what they love doing. And are they matching? Do you love doing what you're great at? If you're a great singer but you don't love singing, that's a unique ability that may not be something you want to dive into. See, you have to really love what you're great at. And when those two things come together, the passion and the love of that special thing, you find that niche. An artist that loves the art they're creating creates beautiful art. And even if it's only beautiful to them, they feel fulfilled every day. See, the key component is unique ability could be in a moment. What are you great at in a moment that might help you in a career? I have a friend who's a Spanish-speaking friend who's unbelievable. And we have conversations. I'm like, man, if you're the only guy that speaks Spanish in your entire company, that's a unique ability. It could actually help you in a way that other people aren't thinking about. There are so many things that you have that just make you special, unique. I always tell people it's interesting, sometimes you walk in the room and you can have a mentality. I'm the only one. I'm the only person in here that is bald. And I can make that a crutch. I can make that a problem. I can make that a negative, or I can take it and make it something special. I can make what makes me different special. That is a unique ability. How can we define our unique abilities better? Read more, learn more, try more things, do more things. Really expand upon topics. I was talking with a friend the other day who was telling me that they just need a career. They just need a career, okay? And I said, well, what's your dream? And I got the ... on a text. This is what we were as we were talking, I got the ... on the text. What's your dream? And all of a sudden, I'd love to do this. I'd love to open a restaurant, but it's not the right time for me right now. I understand that. This goes into patience that we'll talk about in just a second, but I understand that at this point in time in this individual's life, that's not the perfect role. But you don't have to force a career either. Let's find what you're great at. So I spent the next few minutes talking about the things I felt they were great at. Again, surrounded by people that are willing to tell you because they know you, love you, and want you to be successful. It's a really, really great thing. Unique ability is important. Knowing your personality when it comes to unique ability. Are you introverted and you're really task-oriented and you're really great at execution and to-dos? Man, you might make a great COO, an execution point for someone who's an idea person, who maybe isn't the best at executing. Maybe you're the idea person and you need to surround yourself with people that are great at executing. Like understanding more about ourselves and having a self-awareness is another part of unique ability that's very, very valuable. So find people around you to tell you what you're great at and do great things and people will tell you. You don't go out in the world asking, hey, what am I great at? What am I good at? Can you tell me what I'm great at? That is not a good way to go about finding your unique ability. But it is okay to talk to your employer or your team and say, what do you think I'm best at? In work, what do I do that stands out? That's not a bad question. It's not a bad question in a review when you're sitting down with your boss to say, just point out a couple of the things so I can continue to dive deeper into these strengths, what I'm really, really excelling at in this job or this career. Because sometimes what you're doing and what you're great at might not be the right things. And you have to try to create some congruence in life to where they're working together. Let's talk a little bit about patience. Patience is something I love to talk about because I have none. Okay? So humbly, let me explain to you, it's one of my greatest challenges is to be patient. I'm very, very impatient. When I was young and I was a child, I wanted everything right now. When I was going to college, I was already thinking of my career. When I was in my career, I was thinking 3 years in advance. And I had a very, very difficult time letting life come to me. So I share that with you because I'm not here to tell you I have all the answers. I'm here to share wisdom that I've learned from failing at some of the very things that we're teaching and talking about. Patience. Patience is something that should be a part of your day every day. It's a reminder that the place that you're at right now is right where you're supposed to be. I want to say that again. The spot you're at right now is the perfect spot for you today. Why? Because it's the starting point. It's a kickoff point. It's a new beginning. You can create a new beginning at any point in time in your life, at any point in time in your career, at any point in time with your family. It just creates a level of newness, but it requires a bit of patience. Because anytime you try something new, you're not usually great at it. So when you're creating a new beginning, a new chapter, you are genuinely needing to know that patience is the key. Where you are right now is where you're supposed to be. What does that actually mean? What it means is the more I look back on my career and my life, all the things that I was impatient about led me to where I am right now. And without those experiences, that wisdom, those failures, I wouldn't have the ability to do what I'm doing today. We wouldn't be where we're at today without those things. So patience is a virtue that's very difficult for lots of people. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have lots of ideas and a lot of impatience. We all do. But it's something that you can really work on. I'll tell you what I do. One of the things I do to be more patient is I wake up slow. And I don't mean I wake up slow where I don't actually get out of bed and move. I mean I wake up and I don't start sprinting right away. I start off with a quick meditation, 1, 5, 10 minutes, depending upon what I have in front of me that day. I read a little bit of scripture. I have time to stretch. I work that slow start. I have a cup of coffee. I work that slow start because when I start running, I am running. And so I don't have any patience in the day if I start off behind. If I wake up answering emails, if I wake up, it's stressing me out from the beginning. That's just one day. Let's look back at a successful life, a fulfilled life that we're talking about. Imagine feeling impatient with the results you're having and not understanding why you're at where you're at when it's right where you're supposed to be. If you just breathe and think of a path forward, you can usually get there a little bit faster, but you have to take time to breathe and think. And you can't take time to breathe and think if you're always running and working and running and working and running and working. It's impossible. So the running and working is great. We're going to get to that in a second. It comes with hard work. But the reality is patience is key. If I could go back to talk to myself at 20 years old, I would say, Scott, relax. Everything's going to come the way it's supposed to come. You don't have to rush everything. You can go into the day and know that if you just put your best foot forward and apply what you're great at and continue to grow and learn, life's going to go in a good direction. if you surround yourself with great people who are telling you how good you are at certain things, help you develop. When you're not good at something, they tell you. If you are patient with the results will come. I'm in the world of investing. It's very simple. Investing is extremely valuable with patience. It doesn't come overnight. And if you invest over time, small amounts consistently over time, the results are amazing. Most people get very impatient when it comes to investing. They want immediate results. And it's just not right. It's not valuable to want immediate results. And anything that comes that quick is not really as valuable as you think it is. Things that build up are the greatest achievements we'll ever have. I like to use this analogy. I watch my boys play soccer all the time. And one thing I know is that they know what they're doing when they're on the field. But every once in a while, I will remind them before the game, after the game, maybe even sometimes during, just very quickly. I know you're not supposed to coach from the sidelines, but this is a very simple thing. Let the game come to you. What does that mean? It means that sometimes when there's a rhythm of the game and you're not quite finding that rhythm, you're out of it. You might be hardworking, you might be doing what you do great, but the rhythm of the game is not there. It's not at the right time for you, and you haven't found it. You're forcing something that's not supposed to be forced. The rhythm is really important, and when you let the game come to you and the pace of the game starts to open up, you can see so much clearer. The whole vision becomes clear, and the rhythm of the relationship with the game becomes smooth, not rigid. Here's the thing, life is the same way. When we force things and we force results and we are impatient with those results, we're not letting the game of life come to us. We're actually trying to force the result of something that isn't worth forcing. And I speak from a place of experience and failure. I've done it many times in my life, and I've learned very valuable lessons. And I'm very diligent today at being more patient, but it's something I think about every day down to my morning routine. And the reason is I know it yields success. Let's talk about the next thing. When we talk about unique ability plus patience, there's one part of the recipe that a lot of people tend to leave out. Especially the younger we are, the harder this is, right? Because patience is challenging, unique ability is something we got to find, but hard work is all about ethic. It's all about mindset. It's all about the willingness to perform and work harder than anybody else. See, work ethic is the missing ingredient a lot of times. My grandmother used to make the best spaghetti sauce in the world, and I would put her sauce against anybody's in the universe. It was the most beautiful, wonderfully tasting thing. To this day, I still water in my mouth thinking about the spaghetti sauce when I think about my grandmother. It's happening right now. Every time she would make sauce on Sunday that I was at her house, she would take a little spoon and put it in a bowl with a little piece of bread, and she would say, "Taste that and tell me what's missing." And I would say, "Nothing's missing, it's great." She said, No, something's missing." And I would say, I better come up with something really quick, because if I don't tell her something, she's not going to stop. So I'd say, "Maybe a little salt," and she'd take a little salt, and she'd say, "Maybe a little salt." And I'd say, "What about oregano?" And she'd say, "Let's put a little more oregano in there." And she would just show me that a little bit more work would get us to an excellence. It wasn't just about having it good enough. It was about being excellent. She was teaching me that the work ethic, the hours and hours and hours she put into that sauce, the love that went into it was what you felt when you ate it. And the truth is that came from the love that someone put into the work. See, when you love what you're doing and it's something you're great at and you work extremely hard at it, the success is inevitable. The result is inevitable. Hard work is the missing ingredient for a lot of people. They look at these Instagram videos, they look at these shorts, they look at YouTube things of the coolest people in Hollywood today and all the houses and cars, and they expect to have that when they start working. The work ethic that it took Mr. Beast and all Gary Vee and all these people out there to get everything that they have and everything they're doing, it all comes from work ethic. It comes from work. They outwork everybody. And the truth is, a lot of the people that are showing you what they have don't have anything at all. They're just showing you results without any of the work. And you can't prove that, right? If to be in the top 1% earners in the world doesn't take a whole lot. Google that. Google that and look at that number and tell me if that's what you think it was. Because the reality is most people have a misconception of success and wealth and where you need to get to be successful. And the hard work you're putting in is putting you exactly where you need to be for you. When you mix hard work and unique ability, you have something else. You get to work smarter, not harder. So work ethic is imperative. Sometimes when we're young, we work super hard at something and we spin our wheels. You know, no matter how hard you work, it doesn't seem to be getting you ahead. That's normal. That's very normal. But it's because a lot of times we haven't found what we're great at. When you find what you're great at and you put hard work into it, take LeBron James, one of the greatest NBA basketball players. Love him or hate him, he's pretty darn great. And if you take that level of work ethic at his age and what he's done over the course of career, he's pretty great at basketball. But he works pretty damn hard to maintain the level of play that he plays at. All the great players do that, but they found that niche of something small that we all understand. We can look at athletes, we can look at actors, we can look at singers and musicians, and we understand it perfectly. In fact, we actually believe they all deserve it immediately. They're like, oh man, how lucky are they? Professional athletes, people actually say they're lucky. They're not lucky. You know, the professional baseball player spent 9 years in the minors to get one, maybe two great contracts. The work ethic that it took to get there, mixing with that unique ability, might have made their trajectory a little faster. They just dialed in what they were great at pretty young. If it takes you a little while to figure out what you're great at, but then you apply hard work to that, the speed of which you get there becomes a lot easier. Patience in the middle becomes something that's more palatable. All these things go together. So the formula for success, life's fulfillment, all the things you're searching for are find your unique ability. Apply a little patience. You are where you're supposed to be. And work. Don't forget the missing ingredient. Add a little salt. Add a little oregano. Put a little bit extra because you can't get to where you're going without trying to achieve excellence. If you're really trying to be exceptional, don't forget that exception is part of the word. And to be an exception, you have to be different, unique. Exceptional comes when you're an exception. You're not the norm. You're outworking everybody else in the thing that you're great at, and you have patience in life. That's the recipe. That's fulfillment. That will at least lead you towards the direction of which you're trying to go. I'm very confident in that. It certainly has done it for me and so many of my friends. I've watched people succeed at this over and over and over again with this formula. Speaking of work, it's hard to fit it all in. Watch this next video on how to fit it all in and get more done than you ever dreamed possible.